Vicky Marie, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm in mainland Spain. It is midday, 4 minutes past 12. Hot and sultry, as always, in August in Spain. So, my dog's just jumping up. Just see my dog's shadow getting on her chair. Okay, so last night I was set my alarm. I was up to watch the court appearance of Patrick Stephenson, who is the young man being charged with murder, the murder of Samantha Murphy in Ballarat in Australia. This murder allegedly happened on the 4th of February, and to this day, as we speak, Samantha's remains still have not been found, but did not stop the police arresting Patrick and charging him. So he was appearing in court, I say last night, I mean, it was daytime in Australia at 10 o'clock in the morning. And we thought we might get some answers as to, what was happening. What evidence did the police have to charge him in the first place? Because a lot of people are questioning that, if there's no body. In the interim, the police have found her phone and some of her personal effects, but they have not found her. And obviously this is very sad for her family and, may affect the court case. Patrick Stephenson is reserving his right to remain silent. So we're going to talk about this court appearance. Anyway, first of all, I want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Special thanks to my members. And tonight is Members Live, because Members Lives are Tuesdays and Thursday evenings. And tonight we're going to be looking at the very sad story of the Soham murders. Holly and Jessica, a long time, because it's been 22 years. 22 years since those two little girls, 10-year-old girls, were taken off this earth by a very evil man, Ian Huntley, who is not an immigrant. But anyway, they're not all immigrants, are they? So, unfortunately, there were a lot of mistakes made at that time because Ian Huntley did have a record, really, of child abuse, if you like, but he was still allowed to take a very privileged job at a school as a living, he didn't live at the school, but he had a tied cottage, had a home associated with the school in Soham, and that led to a lot of changes in the law, so that was the only positive thing. Anyway, we're going to talk about that tonight in members only. If you want to participate and watch that video and participate in the live, please consider joining. So membership for Thursday nights only is only $1.99 a month. And if you want to join in the Tuesday night lives as well, that's $4.99 a month. Not $4.99 and $1.99, $4.99 for both. And if you are a Let's Chat member, you can upgrade to $4.99 to join in the Tuesdays as well. Okay, anyway, let me take. So also I just want to say thanks. Sorry, I have to say my thank you. It's very important. Thank you to everyone who supports my channel. Sometimes people send me super stickers or buy me a Ko-fi or PayPal me, send me emails, leave nice messages, etc. These are really important to me because, not only the financial things, just watching, just subscribing, just liking, because that's what makes me carry on when sometimes I get a little bit disillusioned with true crime or other sort of things that I report on or tell you about. Sometimes it's hard going, and when you've got things going on in your own life, which unfortunately at the moment I have, sometimes it's difficult. But then when people send me a nice message and say, I'm looking forward to your next video, or I'm enjoying your videos, or I've made friends through your videos, etc., just makes it all worthwhile. So thank you so much. Okay, let's get to it. I'm going to say hello to everyone, and then we're going to start talking about this very brief court appearance. Hey Chumba. Hey Link Reaction from Australia. Good day. Hi Tina. Hi Yvonne. Hi Daniel. Happy Thursday to you. Hi Heather. Hi Quizzical. I am knackered. Do you know what I did? I went to bed really early because I had to be 2 o'clock in the morning. It was here in Spain, 10 o'clock in the morning in Australia to watch this because you can watch it on a link. You're not allowed to record it or take photos. Of course, I didn't do any of that. Of course not. Won't get me doing anything that you're not allowed to do. But you're allowed to watch it. So I got up at 1 o'clock, I think. So I went to bed about 8:30. But you know what? I only slept for about an hour or something. I woke up at about 11, and I wasn't due to get up till 1, to watch this thing at 2. Anyway, to cut a very long story short, I got up in time and I watched it, and then went back to sleep and got up at about 7:30. But yeah, so I did sleep. I don't need a lot of sleep, to be honest. I'm more of a cat nap type person. I like to have a couple of hours here and there rather than sleep for a long, long time. And then every now and again, you have a big, long sleep, like a recharge. So anyway, actually, I'm not too bad. I'm a little bit tired. Might have a little nap later. I'm not sure yet. But anyway, it was worth it. Yeah, very, very sad case. So it was 2002, Tina, the Soham case. Hi, Laurie. Hi, Michelle. Yeah. Well, Michelle, I try and do the members' lives at 9 o'clock in Spanish time because that is early morning for those that are in Australia, and those that are in America, that's okay time for them to watch. But of course, you can always watch it afterwards. But to participate in the members live, I understand that. But thing is, you can always watch the video after. Buenos dias, Mara. Okay, I think I've said hello to everyone. I don't like to forget saying hello to everyone, but people sometimes come in, once I get into my spiel, please don't be offended if I haven't said hello to you. So let's have a look at Samantha, first of all, because she is the most important person in this. I like to put a picture up while I'm talking about her, while I'm telling you. So, we've been following this right from the beginning on my channel. Poor Samantha just went out for a jog. This is what I think has, made everyone so angry about this case, because Samantha got up in the morning on the Sunday, just like she always did, cleared up after the dogs, got ready, because it was summer, of course, in Australia, so it's very, very hot. So in the morning time is the only time you can do your exercise. I know that here I don't jog, but I do go out for walks, or sometimes I haven't been doing that much lately, but it's because I've not been getting up early enough, because you have to get up so early to get out. And before, God, by 9 o'clock, it's completely just horrible, to walk in. But anyway, so this is what Samantha did. She got up and she her family still live in Ballarat in Australia, right adjacent to like a national park, a trail type thing. And off she went, and she never came home. It is. I think it always is the worst thing when someone's doing something just completely normal. She wasn't wandering the streets at 4 o'clock in the morning, which, to be honest, you should be able to wander the streets at 4 o'clock in the morning. Drunk, if you want to, you should be allowed to do that. But you know what I mean. She wasn't doing anything dangerous. She was going for a run. She'd probably done it a million times before. She was training for a charity run. It was just all so normal. She had a family brunch organised for later that day at about 11, but she just never couldn't go to. You know, she was taken out of this world probably quite. The police think about 7 kilometres from her home. Well, doesn't take that long to run 7 kilometres, does it? So literally, you know, maybe within even half an hour, I don't know, I'm not very good with things like that. She was taken from this world, according to the police, in a deliberate attack. They specifically said that, a deliberate attack. You know, so they've taken away all suggestion that it may have been, you know, an accident. You know, somebody drunk Patrick might have been drunk and drugged up, which probably was, because we've seen some videos of Patrick and how he enjoys his time, his leisure time. He likes to sniff a bit of Charlie, likes to get drunk with his mates. You know, he's Mr. All Australian boy, like, you know, he looks like butter won't melt in his mouth, but when he's out and about, you know, he gets a bit rowdy. Like, you know, to be fair, a lot of 22-year-old boys do. I think he might be 23 now, actually. But, you know, that's what, you know, that's what young boys do. So, but it wasn't an accident. According to the police, they specifically said it was a targeted attack on Samantha Murphy. So we can presume that he deliberately meant to hurt her, and probably certainly to assault her. You know, there was probably an SEX attack, but we don't know. And then maybe he didn't mean to kill her, but anyway, did. Or this is what the police think. But they cannot find his remains, despite trying quite hard. But they have found her phone. I mean, I do really honestly think one day Samantha's remains will be found. It's just when, isn't it? Just wish it could be. Because this idiot, he's not talking. So these are the pictures that were released of Patrick. He's not talking. He's just keeping his, hi Popeye, he's keeping his cards close to his chest. He's exercising his right not to say anything. Now, so let's have a look at what the newspapers, now, because nobody was allowed to take photos on this link, and of course I didn't take any photos. I wouldn't do anything wrong like that. But one thing I can tell you is, I haven't seen him, these photos, I think he's a lot more substantial now. One thing that struck me, well, I don't mean he's fat, he's not fat, and I don't mean that. I don't mean he's overweight, but he looked a lot more muscly to me than he does on these pictures, a lot broader. I was taken by how broad he looked, how muscly he looked. Now we're going to look at some newspapers, what they're, because they've done artist impressions. Maybe I should do an artist impression. But one thing I will tell you, let's have a look at these. So in the Courier, this is the artist's impression. I mean, it's awful. I tell you, it didn't look anything like that. Didn't look anything like that. You know, that is, honest to God, I could draw a better picture than that. In fact, I think I might have a go. It was like awful. You know, he doesn't look anything like that. And it makes him look, I don't know, a bit more sinister than he looks. Because I'll tell you something, this boy looks just like your all Australian boy. He looks like butter would not melt in his mouth. He sat there very timid, very, he just looked, honest to God. You're looking at, if you ever met him, if you saw it, you would not think in a million years that he was capable of murder. This is what killers look like. They look like normal people. You know, they're not all immigrants. They're not all people with mental health issues. They're not all homeless people, or they're not all, you know, deranged looking people. Killers walk amongst us, and people don't suspect them because they're, you know, blue-eyed, sort of wholesome looking boys like this one. And they don't know what's going on in the back of their mind. So that is what I was most struck by looking at him, was how normal he looks. You know, he's a good looking boy. He looks like he was polite. He was just like, he just, you know, you would never know. You know, maybe if you'd seen him on some of those videos where he was out drunk and snorting cocaine with his friends, you might have, you know, you might see the other side of him. But unless you'd seen the other side of him, honestly, nobody would suspect this boy. So this is another newspaper, and this is the picture I've used on the thumbnail that I've used for this video. Hi, David. He doesn't look anything like that. That makes him look quite sinister, I think. It doesn't look at all sinister. Not one bit. You know, he honestly doesn't. You know, he just doesn't look like that at all. Makes him look sort of much more sinister. Oh God, I wish I could show you a picture, a real picture, because that is not what he looks like at all. Nothing like it, believe me. So anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to read what this news item says. We're going to maybe look at a couple of videos of news items, and then I'm going to read you the actual transcript of what was said in this meeting. And I think it's so frustrating for Samantha's family. I honestly, I feel, you know, you'll be annoyed when I read it out to you and you find out what was disclosed, what wasn't, and how long we've got to wait till the next time. Imagine if you were Samantha's family. Oh my God. Just not fair, is it? It's not fair. They've already waited. It's February when Samantha went missing, and we're now in August, and believe me, we've now got to wait. We've got to wait quite a bit longer as well. So there you go. He looks nothing like that picture, I'll tell you now. He looks his age, if not younger, whereas on that picture he looks older. He looks maybe in his 30s there, doesn't he? Doesn't look like that. That's the time. Honestly, they need to get some new artists in, because they're both rubbish, the pictures. Anyway, so in short, Patrick Orren Stephenson has faced court after being charged with the murder of missing Ballarat woman Samantha Murphy, who disappeared while on a jog over 6 months ago. Mr. Stephenson's defence and prosecutors requested a 12-week adjournment. Another 12 weeks, another 3 months. So this was a 15-minute hearing. 15 minutes, that's all they'd set aside for it. How did they think they were going to get through anything in 15 minutes? Honest to God, I'm so angry about it. And I don't know why I'm angry, because it's not my family. But if I was Samantha's family, I'd be fuming. So fuming that they've now got to wait another 3 months. So, and what's next? Mr. Stephenson will remain in custody until the matter returns to court on November the 14th. Oh my God, so that'll be it now, till November the 14th, unless the police make any more discoveries in the meantime. You know, maybe they will find Samantha by then. Honest to God, I just cannot believe that poor Samantha's family have had to wait all this time for a 15-minute hearing, and now they've got to wait another 3 months. And the reason they're giving for this is there's an unprecedented amount of evidence, including, now this is interesting, so it's a little nugget of information, including extensive CCTV footage, is causing delays in court for the matter of Patrick Orren Stephenson, accused of murdering Victorian woman Samantha Murphy. So it seems like they've got loads and loads of evidence, almost too much evidence, because not only the CCTV evidence, but the phone data, and of course now they've got Samantha's phone as well. They'll have had his phone for a while. So the 23-year-old appeared before the Ballarat Magistrates Court via video link on Thursday. He wore a white T-shirt and he occasionally glanced around the empty room he sat in, only speaking to acknowledge that he could hear the magistrate on a few occasions. Not even a few. He never spoke really, hardly, just to say yeah and thank you at the end. That was it. He was like a little mouse, he is a handsome boy. I tell you, he's a very handsome boy. And he looked handsome, and he was well kept, and he looked young, fresh faced. You know, you just, honestly, to see how killers look. No, it's scary, isn't it? It's terrifying. So don't be scared of the person, you know, of the immigrant that lives next door to you. Be scared of the all-Australian boy who's an electrician who might be in your house changing your bloody light bulb. They're the ones you have to be scared of. Anyway, he was arrested and charged with murdering Miss Murphy in March, more than a month after her disappearance. So yeah, it's been a very long road, hasn't it, for the family, because it's been sort of intermittent. There's been times of nothing happening, and then like when the phone was found, we thought that they were going to find Samantha, and then in the beginning they said there was no suspicious circumstances, then it all went quiet. Then they said yes, they thought there was suspicious circumstances, then it all went quiet. Then boof, you know, it was they arrested Patrick. You know, so it's been a case that's been very quiet for long periods, and then just interspersed with bursts of, you know, information or activity, etc. So yeah, she left her Ballarat East home for a morning run and was reported missing after she failed to return home. So family of Mr. Stephenson, as well as loved ones of Miss Murphy, tuned in online to listen to the hearing. So I did notice that his mum was online, because you can see some people go anonymously on there, but his mum was definitely there. You could, well, you know, unless it was somebody just putting her name up there. And yeah, you could see that there were a lot of people watching, let's say. So apparently there's a huge amount of material. Oh, hi, David. I thought you came in earlier. I'm sure somebody said hello to you earlier and I thought you were there. But anyway, huge amount of material compiled for the murder case. So in Thursday's hearing, Magistrate Mark Stratman acknowledged the public interest in the case and then that it needed to move promptly. Oh, fucking hell. So if this is moving promptly, it's going to be another 3 months before there's any more information. What were they like when they move slowly? Good God. Anyway, one of Mr. Stevenson's lawyers, Moya O'Brien, said she was yet to receive the CCTV footage and would need time to review it. So that's, you know, this is like the disclosure sort of thing. It looks nothing like that now. That must be quite a few years ago, that, because he's much broader than that now, much broader and better looking than that now. You know, probably maybe that was when he was in his teens. I don't know. So it has been described as unprecedented in terms of size, she said. She requested at least a 12-week adjournment, a move also supported by the prosecution. So they both wanted 12 weeks to prepare. given the huge amount of material to be gone through. Now that's promising though, isn't it? If there's a huge amount of material, that's promising, because it means they've got a lot of information against him to be gone through, and taking instruction from Mr. Stephenson. That is an adequate amount of time in our submission, Miss O'Brien said. So don't forget, he's exercising his right to remain silent. So he's just his lawyers are speaking for him. He's just sat there in his cell, probably playing on his PlayStation. Doesn't give a shit about Samantha's family and the torment that they're going through. You know, I don't know what his mum thinks of it all. I'd like Whitney's. She's called Whitney Stephenson. And I feel for her, because that's her son. She loves her son, I'm sure. And finding out that your son is capable of doing something like this must be very difficult. And I hope that she's been pleading with him to be honest, and maybe disclose where Samantha is, because she is a mother. I mean, she knows how it would feel if Patrick had gone missing and she couldn't find his body to, give him a decent burial. And Samantha is a mother to 3 children, as well as being a wife, and a daughter and all those other things. So I'd like to think that she is trying to convince him, but who knows? We don't know those things. So a media application for the charges. So what happened right at the end was that someone from the media asked, what are the charges? Because honest to God, when I read you this the transcript of what was said, because I can't play you the record. Oh, I haven't got a recording anyway. Of course I haven't. I wouldn't have anything like that. But when I play you the transcript, when I read you the transcript, you'll see, nothing was. He still hasn't recorded a plea, so we don't know if he's pleading guilty still or not. He still hasn't. We still don't know what the actual charges are, the full extent of charges. So someone from the media as the judge was trying to finish it off, she stood up, and he got a little bit arsey with her, because he said, oh, well, we haven't got time today. We've only got 15 minutes today. He got like a little bit sort of grouchy with her, but she's only asking what everybody else is thinking. What are the effing charges? He said that this is a high profile case, acknowledged it was a high profile case, and said he had to move promptly and then move really slowly, so what? Anyway, so she did stand up and say that. He got a bit arsey with her, said that's up to the court to decide, and we certainly won't be doing it today. Well, I'll be reading you the transcript in a minute. And then they set this new, and he said, at the next hearing in November, we're going to make that an hour. I mean, an hour's not a long time, really, is it, when you think about it, if there's loads of things to talk about. But anyway, they're going to make the next one an hour, and he said she can present her case then for the charges to be released. Absolute joke. I'll tell you what, if that was my daughter or my mom or my sister, Samantha, I'd be fuming. Nothing. So it was nothing for the family, nothing to, because of course I don't know what the police have told the family. I'm hoping that Samantha's family will be informed better than like the general public. But, I don't know. And I do understand they don't want to compromise the trial. That, of course, they don't. This trial is not even going to happen until next year now, because this thing that's happened in November, it's not his trial. It's just another court hearing to decide on charges and things. So it'd be well into next year before we have this trial. It's very, and you know, that's just longer torment for this family, isn't it? It all seems to be in favour of him, and the family, you know, just seem to be left to in more torment. So he will remain in custody until the matter returns to court on November the 14th. I don't know, just right. So let's have a look at the transcript. Now these are always difficult for me to share because I've got it in a Word document. Anyway, let's stop sharing that. Stop sharing that, put that down. Right, let's see. How do I do this? I normally do it by window. I think that might be it. Yeah. Now then, let's just make sure you can see that. Yeah. Okay, so this is the transcript of what was said. Now, some of it, because it sort of, how can I explain this? So some of it's like picked up, sometimes it may not have picked up the exact word. I don't know how to say this without, anyway, you'll know what I mean. So sometimes there might be a word that might not be the right word. So over the course of the weekend on a hard drive capacity, so certainly there's been a small window between brief service. Oh, so already right from the beginning, because the first thing was there was a mix-up with which court it was in. So they'd said it was court 1 and it turned out it wasn't. It was in court 4. So there was a lot of waiting for it to start, and then wasn't in that court. It was in a different court. So the very beginning wasn't caught by everybody. Let's put it that way. So this is the magistrate. So right as this begins, they're already talking about putting it off till the 6th of November, you know, before they've even, you know, started really. Why didn't they just get straight into it and start looking at the charges at least? I don't know. And that media person that at the end, you know, asked for the charges and things. Maybe they should have stood up at the beginning, but maybe they're not allowed to. I don't know, because I don't really know how courts work in Australia. So anyway, so they're already talking about a court listing on the 6th of November. We've just got, yes, I see that, yeah. So I'm not sure who that other person is who's speaking. So then the magistrate says, yes, right, that's a long time for your client and the community. It's a case that obviously needs to move promptly forward in procedural fairness to your client. So, you know, it's not really going to proceed very promptly, is it? Anyway, the administration of justice being looked at, so very conscious of applications to adjourn matters that are there as again as this is. Then there's a little quiet time. And then Speaker 1, who is the magistrate, says, just to remind all parties who are attending by video link today that you must be muted. You must not interfere with the meeting. And I remind you that you must not record, transmit, or photograph any portion of these proceedings today. Well, this is not a recording or photos, so I bet everyone was recording. I'm sorry, I'm just being honest. You know, there's people that were on there watching. They know that they can transmit it, but I bet there was a lot of people recording, but I wasn't, of course. Very sorry, Mr. Brown. Please continue. Yes, I think it was me actually. The 25th of July to today has been very short. So the question is 12 weeks it's been proposed, 3 months. I'm aware it's a very significant brief. So I think this is the defence lawyer asking for a 12-week period or a 3-month period to assimilate all this information. The matters in relation to electronic data need to be obviously in a format that you can open and read, and so it would be incumbent on the prosecution to make sure that necessary software programs are accessible. So once these documents have actually been served, they're served in a way that can be digested and understood by the defence. You could agree with that? Yes, and Your Honour would be comforted to know there's already been a number of discussions between the parties in relation to disclosure, narrowing that down and effectively setting a timetable between the parties. So it seems like the defence and prosecution teams have already been talking about, disclosure, etc. Disclosure is that part, isn't it? Where the prosecution has to tell the defence what evidence they have so that the defence can prepare to defend. So they have to know what evidence is against their client so that they can prepare a defence for them. And then they say, it would seem to me that I am right in saying this, that too, something. They quite simply in adjournments being sought that at the next committee mention, there will be some discussion about issues of disclosure and if necessary. So the next committee mention is in November, on the actual 14th of November. And if necessary, what is made about that? If it's required and any other issues arising from disclosure can be ventilated, at least in preliminary form on the next date. Would that be a summary, Your Honour? That's a fair summary, Your Honour. But perhaps, so he suggests, this person now suggests the 7th of November. Oh no, first of all, she suggested the 6th of November, and now she's realised she's got a clash on that date. So she asked for the 7th of November, and they must have a look. And then, no, that's not available. So it's not a day that's listed as a committal mention. The next one available is the 14th of November. So then they say, if that's convenient to the court, I am conscious it's pushing it out a little more, but certainly given the huge amount of material to be gone through and taking instructions from Mr. Stephenson, that is an adequate amount of time in our submission. And I just want to say that while all this was going on, you literally had the magistrate in one sort of Zoom window. Patrick was in the other Zoom window. He's just sat there like looking as if he's, just waiting when the next bus is coming. He just like had this sort of blank, oh, I'm so innocent, butter wouldn't melt in my mouth look on his face. That's exactly what he looked like. It was really surreal to see him there like that, just looking so little boy like. I mean, it doesn't look like a little boy, but he looks nothing like, as I say, those artist impressions that's been made of him. He doesn't look sinister in the slightest. He just looks like he could be on Disney Channel or, on one of he's just like a handsome sort of all Australian boy, and he doesn't look sinister at all. It was very surreal. Then someone says that is an adequate amount of time in our submission. Just give me a moment just to think about whether there's anything else I can do. That's what the magistrate says. And he says to move the matter, we'd also be seeking that. The brief of burial, they didn't say anything about, I don't remember them saying burial. I think that's just got transcribed weirdly from the AI. You know what AI is like? Which is listed for a first mention today. Follow along with. This had started hearing on the 14th of November. So basically, it's then arranged that the next hearing will be the 14th of November. And everyone agrees with that. No issue with the adjournment of that period. And then he says, so custody management update. Whenever anyone's in custody, I'm always concerned about their circumstances. So is there any update material that you need to let me know about that I should be recording? And whoever Brian is says, no, Your Honour. I saw Mr. Stephenson during the week and there's no custom management update required. So he's obviously he's being looked after, bless him. You know, he's got his PlayStation or whatever he's got there, keeping himself occupied while he keeps Samantha's family in torment. You know, it is really annoying, but you know, that's his right, the right to silence. That's why I just can't wait to see all this evidence that they've got against him. And you know, he can't, well, he can stay quiet forever because that is his right not to speak, but he's going down. I mean, he's definitely going down. The police would never have even arrested him unless they had plenty of evidence against him. But the thing is, it's just annoying that we have to wait so long to see him get his comeuppance. Then he says, okay, all right, thank you, just a moment. It would seem to me also, I'll just say this from my clerk hearing me now. Okay, next need to mention date. We'll need more than a 15-minute link. Well, no shit, Sherlock. How on earth was this first mention only given 15 minutes? You know, honest to God, I'm sort of like a bit bamboozled by that. You know, why did they only give it 15 minutes in the first place? And then he says, oh, right, that's all we have today. Mr. Stevenson's going to disappear in about 5 minutes or so. So would you say perhaps we might need 45 minutes to an hour on the next one? And the speaker, the other person says, yes, that'd be right, sir. Can we do that? Yes, make it an hour on the next day, just to give everyone plenty of time. Anyway, so there you go. They book this hour, or they arrange this hour. And then, let me think. So then he's just about to dismiss Patrick. And he says to him, Mr. Stevenson, can you see me? You hear me? And listen, this is the only time I only heard Patrick speak twice. Once he said, yeah, sure, when the guy asked him, can you hear me? And he said, yeah, sure. That was it. And then the magistrate says, very good, our remand order is made to a further committee mention to take place here at the Ballarat Magistrates Court on the 14th of November 2024, commencing at 10 a.m. I will make an order under section 42JA of the evidence. I mean, they have a lot of protocol to go through, don't they? And then he says to Patrick, you will appear by audio-visual link on that occasion. So he's going to appear by audio-visual link again, not in person, unless you move to a place without those facilities, in which case you may need to. So basically what he's saying to him, that as long as he stays where he is, because he's in like this halfway house thing, isn't he, in Ballarat, they've got the facilities for the audio-visual link. So if he's still there, he will appear again on the audio-visual link. But if he gets moved somewhere else where they don't have those facilities, then he will have to go in person to court. Now, of course, a lot can happen between now and November. Maybe, hopefully, please God, they will find Samantha during that time. Let's hope so. Because then, although obviously there's not going to be, not meaning to be graphic, but it's the reality, DNA wise or forensics wise, Samantha's body, if you like, will have deteriorated, but there'll be clothes. Now, we watched, didn't we, about those dogs the other day that can detect seminal fluid. So I was thinking, if then Patrick, if her body's found and then Patrick starts coming out with some cock and bull story that he ran her over by accident, he never did anything to her, etc., etc., that's where those sort of dogs come in handy, isn't it? Because they'd be able to detect seminal fluid on the clothes, etc. So anyway, just a point of interest. Now then, he said, the magistrate, there have been some custody management issues which have already been noted on the court file. I have verified there's no additions to those. So I don't know what they are, what the custody management issues are. Is that things that Patrick's complaining about? Hi, Kelly. Is Patrick complaining about the way he's being kept? Or is that the people that are looking after him, if you like, or guarding him, are saying things he's not been doing right? But again, no information, just, not the proper information, just like nuggets of information. And he says, in relation to the burial matters, which are that's not burial, he says. I'm trying to think what that word might be. I need to I haven't got a recording. So I've got to be careful what I say. So yeah, I'm not sure when they say burial matters. I don't think that they said burial. I don't remember them saying burial. I think that's the AI that took the transcript has just got confused with that, I think. So this is what he ends up saying. They will be listed for further mention on the same date. The Ballarat Magistrates Court location at 10 a.m. on the 14th of November 2024. I think that concludes these matters. I have 2 media applications before the court today. There's previously been media applications made and access. The charge has been or was already granted. So I'm not quite sure what their standing is at the moment. What I will do in relation to these, noting that the order was dealt with. And I'll list those for further mention on the next. So he's just putting everything onto the next hearing. I think that's the most appropriate course today. Yes, Sharon, all right. I don't think there's anything further in relation to that. Mr. Stephenson, thank you very much for your attendance. Thank you, Mr. Bryant, Mr. Harrison, Mr. Allen, Mr. White. Thank you very much and good morning. So he's just about to finish it there. And then this media person interjects and says, terribly sorry to interrupt in regards to the media reputation we are. So the charges in relation to the second matter, the traffic matter since the first year, so we haven't been arranged in these previous. In other words, they won't be the exact right words, but basically they're asking what are the charges. Remember, there was a traffic offence as well, because then it transpired that Patrick actually had driven his, was it his motorbike or his car into a tree or something, but he'd been let off. And do you know why he'd been let off or nothing was ever done about it? Because he doesn't look as if he's a bad person, because his dad's an AFL football player or NFL or whatever. I'm rubbish with initials. But, because he was in good standing in that area. That's why he got away with it, because he doesn't look like a bad person. But he is a bad person. So, I see, that's in relation to those matters. And then the media person says, Your Honour, that application I've had a preliminary discussion with my learned friend before the matter came into court. The release of those charges at this time are opposed. It's the first mention we've not had an opportunity to get instructions. I did ask Mr. Harris to seek some urgent instructions prior to coming to court, and unfortunately he was not in a position to do so where he was. He was not able to do so. So then the magistrate says, all right, just 1 minute, please. And I thank you, Miss Pearson, for mentioning that today. Thanks, Mr. Bryant. Just looking at these matters, in my view, that's a matter I'd like to hear something further about on the next date. This judge, he's only got 15 minutes. He's not interested in going into any more details. So I'm going to leave those applications as they presently stand, Miss Pearson, and adjourn these applications. Now, just to let you know, hi Annie, if I miss saying hello to you, just to let you know, he got a bit arsey with this woman. It might not come over in the text, we'll see. But he did, he was a bit, you know. So the other person says, we persisted our application today, but I hear what you say. Could we suggest that the matter is still down and we get legal representation today? We can. People here on the link very quickly. This is something we would like to do. Assist them today. Interest in this matter has been previously rewarding about traffic matters that are already in the public space, but we want to be able to accurately report the charges that are before the court rather than having some media published some assumptions of charges. We want to be accurately and fairly report these accusations. So that media person is trying to get official confirmation of charges, etc. That's when he gets arsey, the magistrate, because he says, well, certainly I want to say to you, first of all, it's a matter of the discretion of the court to make this decision. Secondly, we have a 15-minute link today, and there's no time for submissions to be made about this. Hi, Lynn. But certainly the court would be agreeable to hearing something further about this. It simply can't happen today. So I'm going to adjourn these matters to that date and certainly allow time if you wish to engage representation and make some submissions about that. On the next day, you're certainly welcome to do that. And what you don't get with the transcript is the fact that he actually was a bit irritated with this woman. When I say it's a matter of the discretion of the court to make this decision, not you cheeky cow. It's like, sure, what are you asking me this for? I've only got 15 minutes. I've got lunch booked. Anyway, on the next day, you're certainly welcome to do that. All right, thanks very much. Thank you, trying to, I think the other person said. And it's concluded for today. Thank you. And then he says to Patrick Stephenson, thank you, Mr. Steve. So he's still sat there like a Bambi, like he's just sort of sat there, me murder? Oh, I wouldn't murder anyone. I'm Mr. Golden Balls. I'm like, I'm Mr., bloody all Australian boy. No way I'd murder anyone. So he sat there looking like that. Honest to God, I just couldn't get over it. I just couldn't stop looking at him and how sort of innocent he looked. And he says, the matter is, so you are excused, sir. Thank you. The matter is concluded. And I'll call the next matter. And now it says here, he said, please, but didn't he said, thank you. I saw him clearly say, thank you. Very polite boy. Do you know what I mean? He's been brought up properly. He's got good manners, definitely. He knows how to appear. I bet that's what he did when he drove into that tree. And when, once he'd sobered up or, because we know he takes drugs because he's been videoed taking drugs. I bet when he went down the police station with his dad, it was like, oh, sorry, sir, I'll never do anything like that again. You could just imagine that's what it looked like to me. looked like he was like trying to pretend he was just, oh God, no, I'm not capable of murder. So that was it. And then that was it. The link finished. That was it. And off he went for another 3 months in the safety of his cell, doing whatever he's doing in his cell, refusing to, refusing to say what's happened to her. Honestly, I just think it's terrible that they have to wait so long, isn't it? Right, let's have a look at this video, see what news videos I can find about it. As I say, nobody can actually share the pictures of him. Just look at that, he looks nothing like that. Makes him look like a proper villain, doesn't it? That picture, believe me, that boy looked nothing like that in court at all. Nothing like that. Maybe one day on the Tuesday members or something, I'll show the photo. Oh, I haven't got any photos. Sorry, I haven't got any photos.
From Homicide Police for the case against Samantha Murphy's alleged killer has been described as unprecedented. Patrick Orren Stephenson faced a packed courtroom in Ballarat today where the prosecution asked for extra time to build its case. Laura Turner was there.
The legal team defending one of Victoria's most high-profile alleged killers, Patrick Orren Stephenson.
And on what basis will you fight this charge?
186 days since Samantha Murphy vanished after going on a run through Ballarat bushland, those prosecuting Stephenson telling the magistrate they needed an extra 3 months to build their case, saying the size of the brief of evidence is unprecedented. We appreciate of evidence is unprecedented. We appreciate saying the size of the brief of evidence is unprecedented. 3 months to build their case.
Honestly, I cannot tell you how bad that picture is. As I think Kelly just said, yeah, looks older on there. Doesn't, on his picture, looks his age, if not a little bit younger. Fresh-faced, sat there like little wide eyes. I mean, he looks quite broad. I think they've got the broadness of him. He looked broader than I've seen him on other photos. But maybe he's going to the gym. You know, then not a lot else to do in prison, is there, than go to the gym? You know, what I've noticed about people that go into prison, that sometimes they lose a load of weight, don't they? Sometimes they put on a load of weight. Sometimes they use their time and go to the gym and, you know, end up like really sort of fit and everything. Everybody seems to react to prison in a different way. I don't know how Patrick's, you know, he was clean shaven. He looked very well groomed. He looked nothing like that whatsoever. Honest to God, that is just not how he looked. Maybe I should do a photo fit of him. I might have a go, actually. I'm just to try and let you see how he looked, because he didn't look like that.
Case, saying the size of the brief of evidence is unprecedented. We appreciate that's a significant amount of time, but the brief is extended.
But David, I saw him on the link. He doesn't look like that. It hasn't aged him at all. Hasn't aged him one bit so far, the time that he spent in prison. If anything, he looks younger than he did. You know, his face is very young still. That is not representative. I watched the link, I've seen him. And that he doesn't look like that. Hasn't aged him not one bit.
Extensive and involves an extensive amount of CCTV. The magistrate replying, 3 months is quite a long time for your client and the community. Defence lawyer Moya O'Brien telling the court her office hasn't received any of the CCTV yet, agreeing another 12 weeks is needed.
Has your client expressed any concern?
So that's interesting that there is CCTV, isn't it? Because that's the first time that the only CCTV we've seen so far is the CCTV, well, I don't know if it's doorbell camera of Samantha just before she left for a fateful run, isn't it? So it's what makes you wonder if they've got CCTV of Patrick, maybe even with Samantha in his car. You know, it might be a Stephen Stearns moment, or certainly going to the place or coming back from the place or going to. So they've got CCTV. I think that's very encouraging. So they apparently got loads of information.
And about his time on remand at the moment?
No comment.
It was standing room only in the court today, but Patrick Stephenson did not have any family support in there. He appeared via video link and stared straight ahead.
Yeah, so no family support in the courtroom, but his mum, Whitney, was definitely watching online because I saw her name. You know, as we were all watching, you know, all your names come up on there. There was quite a lot of people watching online. And one of them was Whitney Stephenson, which is Patrick's mum. And I presume there were family of Samantha watching too.
For the entire hearing, speaking only briefly when the magistrate asked him if he could hear proceedings. Stephenson is also facing drug, drink and careless driving offences in a separate prosecution.
On the link, he sort of looked a little bit like that, but a lot broader. So this is obviously when he was a fair bit younger. This is his dad, isn't it? The famous Australian footballer. So he had that sort of fresh-faced look. He just, honestly, I just don't, I do think they did those pictures on purpose to make him look more sinister, because he just did not look like that. I don't know how they could have done those pictures.
The media unsuccessfully arguing to have the detail of those alleged offences released today. The community will now have to wait until November 14 to hear more of the case against Stephenson, who allegedly took the life of a Ballarat mother.
Yeah, so that magistrate started off saying, sorry, I'm really a bit annoyed with that magistrate, because he started off saying, oh, yes, it's a high-profile case and we know, you know, we've got to deal with it promptly. And then he wouldn't listen to what the media, really, they were asking for some information, weren't they? Because they want to release things to their readers, etc. You know, at the end of the day, everybody's interested in this case. It's not only in Australia, but all over the world, this case drew international attention. So the media wanted some information, some nuggets of information to give out to people. And I'm sure the family would like some information. Now, as I say, the family may have more information, who knows, but I'm sure the police are keeping them as up to date as they can without compromising their investigation, of course. It's very difficult.
The whereabouts of her body still unknown. Laura Turner, 9 News.
Yeah, so I think what I
Turning now to
I might have a go at drawing it, because actually I do like drawing. I can draw faces, but yeah, maybe I'll have a go at drawing him, how he really looked. God, I just, you know, anyway. One day we'll be able to look at the bit of people. You see, to me, he's prospering in prison. He didn't look like he's suffered at all. You know, when we saw the Green River, Apple River killer, and he looked terrible, didn't he, after, you know, just before he got sentenced. So he was found guilty, was it about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago, not that long ago. And when he appeared in court for his sentencing, he looked terrible. You know, he looked like he'd aged and lost weight. And Patrick Stephenson didn't look like that at all. He looked, you know, honestly, you could have looked at that picture of him. I'm going to, not that I have got a picture of him, of course. But he did it when I was watching him on the stream. He just did not look like that at all. Let me see. How would I describe him? Let me think. Yeah, so his hair was, it was sort of, the hair was similar to how they shown it on that picture. Let's have a look. Oh, it's gone now. Yeah, the hair perhaps similar, but yeah, it just looked so innocent. And just like, oh, I don't understand. I'll tell you how it looked as well. This look that he was putting on, it was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. What am I doing here? It's nothing to do with me. He just had that sort of innocent look. So I wonder if he's trying, one of his strategies is like just trying to be bewildered. Like, why would anyone think I'd done anything? That's how he looked. It's like, I can't believe this is happening to me. Anyway, nothing we can do about it, that's for sure. Nothing we can do. We've just got to wait again another 3 months. Hi, Ali. Hope you're well. Yeah, we've just got to wait another 3 months. Yeah, the artist gave him brown. He hasn't got brown eyes. They're not quite blue. I suppose they're like hazel. But in most of the pictures we've seen, they look more like blue, don't they? I'm definitely going to have a go. A little artist impression, like a Vicky Marie Chat's artist impression. Not making him look like some, dangerous villain, because he didn't look like that. Didn't look like that. I think they've done that on purpose to try and make him look sinister. But he literally did not look sinister. If he came into your house to fix your electrics or whatever the things that he was doing, so he's an electrician, you won't think twice about having you in your house, having him in your house. Anyway, that's all for now. So I'll be back later in the members' live. So remember, we'll be talking about poor little Jessica and Holly. Let's have a look at them. 22 years on, and I just remember at the time what struck me, which, when you watch the parents of these missing children being interviewed, and these parents were blasted with grief. I've never seen anything like it. Let's have a look at bits of, they were so, sometimes, that's what sometimes makes people suspicious, because everyone reacts differently, of course. But here they are, Holly and Jessica. They would look blasted with grief, literally, heartbroken in their press interview, because they did press appeals. And of course, they did a press interview, I think, after the bodies had been found. Is that the grave? Bless. So just they were blasted with grief. These people. He was another one, of course. Ian Huntley, another homegrown killer. This is the family that one of the families that he ripped apart. There they are. We've got Kevin, Nicola, the parents, Oliver, the brother. Of course, he's, he's older now. And little Holly when she was little, when she was even younger. And then someone comes along. This, of course, is Maxine Carr. We're going to talk about her tonight as well. And a lot of people feel that she might have known more. But she's free now. She's got a life now. She's married. She's got kids herself. I wonder what she thinks about it all now. Yeah, awful. Anyway, Kevin, actually, Holly's dad, he was one of those people, like a bit like Gabby Petito's dad, that he responded. Everyone deals with grief differently, don't they? He responded by being proactive. He wrote a book. He made a lot of press interviews, etc. Whereas the other parents, or the other father and mother, they were much more quiet in their grief. You know, everybody deals with it in a different way. Some people, like Kevin, like Gabby Petito's dad, they just have to do something, you know, to keep their sanity. They have to do something. Other people grieve sort of quietly at home, don't they? So, bless. Okay, so we'll be talking about that later in the members. You might have heard the dog trying to get out of the bathroom then. My son's just gone off to the gym. When he goes to the gym, he puts the dog in the bathroom so she doesn't follow him, because she can open the front door. And then you hear all this rattling while she can open any door. It just takes her a couple of minutes. Okay, see you later. And thanks for watching, as always. And I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you. Thank you. Let's just put my little video on. Bye-bye.